Respect is a two-way street. But what happens when someone refuses to give you the respect you deserve? It could be a rude coworker, a dismissive friend, or even a family member who constantly undermines you. Ignoring it won't always work, and reacting in anger could make things worse. So how do you handle people who don't respect you? Let's dive into 7 powerful strategies that will help you stand your ground with confidence. First strategy: set clear boundaries. Like the edge of a blade, the lines you draw in life must be as sharp as my scythe. Boundaries. Without them, you are nothing but prey. Do you think the shadows bow for those who hesitate? They consume them, and so will those who refuse to respect you, unless you draw the line. How to do it? Define your boundaries. What will you no longer tolerate? Before you enforce a boundary, you must know where your limits lie. Do you tolerate constant interruptions? Insults disguised as jokes? Someone belittling your ambitions? Choose your line and carve it deep into the ground of your soul. Speak with authority, no pleas, no justifications. When someone crosses your line, do not stumble over explanations. Speak like the wind before a storm. Low, unwavering, absolute. Say, "That is not acceptable. It ends now." No apologies, no bargaining, no room for negotiation. Enforce the boundary, or watch it crumble. If they test your limits, remind them once. If they do it again, show them what happens when they lose access to you. You are not an open door. You are a threshold that only the worthy may cross. Let's say a mortal dares to mock you in front of others, their laughter sharp like knives meant to cut your dignity. But you are no frail soul to be played with. Wrong response. You smile awkwardly, hoping the laughter dies down. You say, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way," allowing their disrespect to linger. You let it slide, and so they do it again. Mai's response. You fix them with a steady gaze, your voice like the whisper of the grave. Mock me once, and I let you live with your ignorance. Mock me twice, and you will find I am no longer there to hear it. Then, like smoke in the night, you walk away, without anger, without another word. Your absence, it lingers, and they will wonder if they've lost something they can never regain. Second strategy, stay calm, like the silence before the end. Anger is a fire that flares and dies, but silence is eternal. It lingers, creeping into the minds of those who wrong you, making them question their every word, their every action. The one who controls their emotions does not just win the battle, they command the entire battlefield. How to do it? Master the art of the unshaken gaze. When they belittle you, dismiss you, or attempt to provoke you, do not react in haste. Do not fidget. Do not shrink. Instead, stare through them, as if they are already fading into the abyss of irrelevance. Make your silence more haunting than their words. A fool speaks to be heard. The wise speak only when necessary. Let the weight of their disrespect hang in the air, suffocating under the pressure of your unreadable expression. When you do respond, speak slowly, deliberately, with certainty, as if you already know how the story ends. Control the atmosphere, turn their words against them. If they laugh at your ideas, let them, but do not flinch. If they dismiss your words, do not argue. Instead say, "You may not see its value now, but in time, you will." Short-sightedness is such a fragile thing, isn't it? You'll remember this moment, won't you? Then say nothing more. Let their own mind turn against them. Let's say you stand before your superior, an individual who treats you like dust beneath their boots. They wave away your thoughts with a lazy hand, smirking as they say, That idea isn't worth considering. Next. Wrong response. You rush to explain, voice shaking, hoping to prove your worth. You stammer, trying to defend yourself, only to be cut off again. You leave feeling defeated, your power stripped away. Grim Reaper's response. You do not move. You do not even blink. You let the silence stretch, suffocating, a black void swallowing the air in the room. Then, in a voice as cold as the grave, you murmur, "You may not see its value now, but in time you will." And then nothing. You do not plead. You do not push. You simply let it sink in. Later, when your idea proves to be correct, they will remember. Third strategy. Stop seeking their approval, for they are already doomed. Mortals scurry like lost souls, desperate for validation. They beg, they bend, they break, all for the illusion of acceptance. But tell me, does the Reaper beg to be seen? And so must you be. How to do it? Realize this truth. Their respect is not worth your soul. The moment you seek approval, you place your worth in their hands. And what happens when you do? They toy with it. They crush it. They decide if you are enough. But what if you took back that power? What if their approval meant nothing? Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Simply exist. Every time you over-explain, you whisper to them, "I need you to believe in me." But the Reaper does not need belief. The Reaper simply walks, and the world shudders in its presence. So when they sneer at your choices, when they question your path, say only this: "I do not seek your approval, nor do I require it." Then watch as they realize they hold no power over you. Let your absence haunt them. The moment you stop chasing their approval, you become a ghost in their world. No more validation seeking, no more proving, just action. And they will notice. Oh, how they will notice. When your silence replaces your explanations, their own minds will betray them. They will wonder, why don't they care anymore? Why do I feel small? Let's say you stand before a so-called friend, a voice soaked in mockery. They scoff, arms crossed, eyes gleaming with condescension. That's your plan? Ha! You'll fail. You always do. Wrong response. You rush to defend yourself, voice pleading. You try to justify why you're making this choice. You seek permission to believe in yourself. Grim Reaper's response. You do not argue. You do not beg for belief. Instead, you tilt your head slightly, a ghost of a smirk playing at your lips. And then you whisper, "I do not seek your approval, nor do I require it." No anger, no desperation, just certainty. Then you turn without another word, and in that silence they feel it, the icy grip of irrelevance creeping upon them. Fourth strategy, use humor, but let it cut like a cold wind. Laughter, dear mortal, is a weapon of the highest order. A well-placed jest can cleave through the pretense of your enemies, leaving them exposed. You see, humor isn't about making them laugh, it's about making them question. And that, my friend, is the deadliest gift of all. How to do it? Learn to laugh at what they fear. When someone disrespects you, they often wear their insecurities like armor. They mock, they belittle, all to hide their own vulnerabilities. Recognize it, and then use their weakness against them. A well-placed joke can expose them, make them feel small, without you having to lift a finger. Turn the tables, but do it with precision. You do not need to engage in petty insults. Make your humor cut deeper by being subtle, smart, and indirect. The goal is not to bring them down through anger, but to make them realize they've exposed themselves in the process. A sharp remark delivered with a smile will haunt them far longer than any harsh word could. Be the one who laughs. Last, not first. If you make them laugh, They may forget the sting of your words, but if you let them laugh first, and then counter with something undeniably true, something that catches them off guard, they will remember you. And in the end, they'll realize that their mockery was themselves, not you. Let's say they mock your ambition with a loud, taunting laugh. They roll their eyes as you share your vision for the future, dismissing it like it's a mere joke. Oh, sure, you'll change the world, one step at a time, starting with that cup of coffee. Wrong response. You try to justify yourself, defending your dreams, getting entangled in their petty dismissal. You may even feel the urge to match their laughter, to make light of it. But in the end, they win. They've stolen your focus, your strength. Grim Reaper's response. You smile. You let their words wash over you, feeling nothing but the chill of your own calm. Then, with a tilt of your head, you say, softly, almost lazily, "Ah, yes. My coffee is the start of something great." Unlike your constant thirst for approval, the room falls silent. They cannot laugh at themselves, and yet, they will never forget the way you turned their own mockery into a blade that pierced their pride. Then you turn, leaving them in the wake of your unshakable calm. Fourth strategy: use humor, but let it cut like a cold wind. Laughter, dear mortal, is a weapon of the highest order. A well-placed jest can cleave through the pretense of your enemies, leaving them exposed. You see, humor isn't about making them laugh. It's about making them question. And that, my friend, is the deadliest gift of all. How to do it? Learn to laugh at what they fear. When someone disrespects you, they often wear their insecurities like armor. They mock, they belittle, all to hide their own vulnerabilities. Recognize it, and then use their weakness against them. A well-placed joke can expose them, make them feel small without you having to lift a finger. Turn the tables, but do it with precision. You do not need to engage in petty insults. Make your humor cut deeper by being subtle, smart, and indirect. The goal is not to bring them down through anger, but to make them realize they've exposed themselves in the process. A sharp remark delivered with a smile will haunt them far longer than any harsh word could. Be the one who laughs last, not first. If you make them laugh, they may forget the sting of your words. But if you let them laugh first, and then counter with something undeniably true, something that catches them off guard, they will remember you. And in the end, they'll realize that their mockery was themselves, not you. Let's say they mock your ambition with a loud, taunting laugh. They roll their eyes as you share your vision for the future, dismissing it like it's a mere joke. Oh, sure, you'll change the world, one step at a time, starting with that cup of coffee. Wrong response. You try to justify yourself, defending your dreams, getting entangled in their petty dismissal. You may even feel the urge to match their laughter, to make light of it. But in the end, they win. They've stolen your focus, your strength. Grim Reaper's response: you smile. You let their words wash over you, feeling nothing but the chill of your own calm. Then, with a tilt of your head, you say, softly, almost lazily, "Ah, yes. My coffee is the start of something great." Unlike your constant thirst for approval, the room falls silent. They cannot laugh at themselves, and yet they will never forget the way you turned their own mockery into a blade. Fifth strategy: don't engage in power struggles. Leave them fighting shadows. Power struggles are the games of the weak mortal. They fight, they claw, desperate to prove their superiority. But you, my friend, do not engage. You let them fight the shadows while you stand in the light, untouched, untarnished. How to do it? Recognize the trap. When someone disrespects you and then tries to pull you into a battle of wills, know this: they want to see you falter. They thrive on conflict. Do not fall into their trap. Realize that their disrespect is a baited hook. Do not bite. Withdraw from the struggle. The silent victory power struggles thrive on reaction. The moment you pull back, they are left swinging at the air. Do not waste your energy trying to out-argue, outmaneuver, or outshout them. Simply step aside. Let them fight their ghosts. In your silence, you take their power from them. Without lifting a finger, let them expose themselves. Every time they lash out, they reveal their true nature. While they fight, observe. Watch as they lose control, as they wear themselves thin, and in the end, it will be clear who holds the strength. And it will not be them. You, the one who stands apart, will always be the one in control. Let's say they challenge you, throwing jabs, passive-aggressive comments, insults masked as jokes. They want you to fight, to push back, to get riled up. But you are no puppet, no fool to be played with. Oh, you think you're so much smarter than everyone else? Why don't you prove it? Wrong response. You react, defensive, angry, trying to prove them wrong. The more you fight, the more they dig in, enjoying the control they now have over you. You argue, exhaust yourself, and in the end, you lose. They win because they have made you their adversary. Grim Reaper's response: you do not fight, you do not speak. With calm detachment, you observe them as they waste their energy on an invisible enemy. Then, with the softest of smirks, you say, "You seem to be fighting someone who isn't here. I'm just a spectator." And you walk away. They will be left fighting their own shadows, desperate for a response they will never get. They will never realize that their struggle was against an illusion, their own ego. Sixth strategy: own your decisions, like a soul who knows their fate. The moment you falter in your own choices, you give others the power to dictate your path. But you must walk as if the road before you was carved from your own bones. Own your choices, as the Reaper owns his eternal dominion. You do not question your steps, for you are the one who decides where they lead. How to do it? Know your path. Do not apologize for it. If you stand unsure, even for a moment, they will sense it. When you make a decision, own it with all of your being. Let no hesitation mark your step, for hesitation is a weakness they will seize upon. You have chosen your path. Stand unshaken in it. Do not second guess. Let your confidence be as immutable as death itself. The one who is confident in their decisions is never swayed by the opinions of others. When they challenge your choice, when they sneer or mock, you will remain unmoved. You will say only this: "This is my decision. It is not up for debate." Then leave them in the dust of their own uncertainty. When they question you, show them their powerlessness. When they try to undermine you, ask them, "What would you have me do?" Follow your steps. Bow to your will. If they cannot give you an answer, if their argument is hollow, then you have already won. For the one who questions their choices is already lost. Let's say they question you, mocking your decision. A colleague sneers as you reveal your ambitious project, shaking their head. You really think you can pull this off? You're setting yourself up for failure. Everyone will see it. Wrong response. You shrink, feeling the sting of their mockery. You stammer, trying to explain, trying to justify. You begin to doubt yourself, letting their words chip away at your resolve. Grim Reaper's response. You fix them with an unflinching stare, as cold as the void itself. No excuses, no apologies, just certainty. You say simply, without hesitation, "This is my decision. It is not up for debate." And then you walk away, unbothered, as their words fall into the silence behind you. Seventh strategy: walk away, like a phantom fading into the void. There comes a time when you must recognize that not every soul is worth your energy. Some souls are already lost, and no amount of saving can pull them from their inevitable darkness. And so, you leave them to their fate, just as the reaper leaves those who are beyond saving. How to do it? Recognize the point of no return. Not every person deserves your time or your energy. Some will suck you dry, draining you until there's nothing left but the husk of who you once were. Know when it's time to let go. Not every relationship, no matter how it started, is worth saving. If they disrespect you repeatedly, if they feed on your patience, if they ignore your boundaries, it's time to walk away. The power of silent disengagement. The reaper does not plead with those who are already lost. He simply leaves them to their own end. Walk away without explanation. Your absence will haunt them more than any final words. When they realize you're gone, it will be too late. You'll become a ghost in their memories, a chilling reminder that they could not break you. Leave nothing behind but your absence. Do not linger. Do not drag it out. Once the decision is made, disappear, like smoke in the wind, like a phantom fading into the shadows. You are not their savior, and no amount of chasing will pull them out of their toxic cycle. Let them drown in it while you remain untouched. Let's say you've tried and tried again. They continue to disregard your boundaries, belittle your value, and poison your spirit. The insults grow sharper, the mockery more venomous. Your patience is wearing thin, but you know this is it. You've done enough. You always think you're better than the rest of us, don't you? Always the first to act so high and mighty. We're just not worth it to you. Wrong response. You argue, you defend. You try to explain your reasons for distancing yourself. You linger in the toxic conversation, giving them power over you, giving them a voice in your life. And in the end, you'll realize you've wasted precious time on someone who will never see your worth. Grim Reaper's response. You do not argue, you do not explain. You turn, silent as the grave, and walk away without a single word. They may shout, they may call after you, but you have already vanished, leaving only the chill of your absence. In their hearts, they will know the truth. You are not someone they can manipulate, and in their desperation they will wonder, what did I lose? But by then, it will be too late.